Here at Brown University, students are pushing for the university to provide reparations, atoning for its benefits and gains from the slave trade. This monument of a broken chain sits on Brown's campus and memorializes the connections between the university and its founders and the slave trade. What we're asking the school to do is to identify the descendants of those who were harmed by its founders and associates through the slave trade, firstly, and secondly, create plans for reparations, either through connecting with individual families or broader communities of those who were harmed by the school's founders and associates. While our conversation begins with the transatlantic slave trade and the benefits that the university's founders and financiers wrought from the transatlantic slave trade, it really continues into the modern day. For instance, Brown University has expanded all over Providence, and many of the neighborhoods that it has expanded into have forced out largely Black and low-income communities. It says right here on this memorial that Brown University recognizes its connections to the transatlantic slave trade. Brown's main financial commitment atoning for its benefit from the slave trade was a $10 million donation to the Providence Public School District. And while I 100% believe that we have a commitment to the city of Providence, our public schools are only 17% Black. So how are we going to atone for legacies of anti-Black racism and the enslavement of African peoples by giving money that isn't going to Black people?
I'll still remember the school as a school that was involved with Jesuits that held slaves and benefited from the sale to keep this university alive. You know, for people who don't support this work that I'm doing and that other students are doing, because they feel like, well, the sale was in 1838, it was so long ago, what does this have to do with me today? Truly look at your privilege and look at people who are still affected by the sale to this day, and they're still in areas to this day where they were sent, that they weren't able to leave. Don't just think about the past, think about the present and how people are still dealing with the after effect of what happened. I mean, if you're promising legacy admissions to people who live in areas that don't even have high schools, what are you really promising? Nothing to me. So, I mean, I guess in an extent, since I was privileged enough to be in an area like New Orleans with a lot of schools and a lot of great education, I was able to benefit from that.